Thank you very much for being here, and we do hear you. What is your chief objection here? Is it the cost? Is it the technology? Is it the feeling that this should be focused on, if there's funds available, on housing? If you had a top 1, 2, 3, what would be your chief objections?
Well, I do think the fact that we are supposed to be starting on a citywide plan is certainly a big factor, and making this kind of a decision in such a rushed way that, I mean, what is the point of Kitsilano going out and trying to take part in a citywide plan? All the decisions are already made today, you know, so, you know, that is a huge factor for me. And I mean, the cost is certainly, I am a fan of Patrick Condon. I do read what he writes. And I do think that for the same amount of money, we can do a network of transit that will be far more, result in far more ridership overall, and will be far more useful to me living in the city, that I can take transit wherever I want to go. With SkyTrain, you have 2 or 3 routes. I mean, I just don't think it's necessarily the best, is going to produce the best form of transit, and thus the best form of city, because he talks about, you know, the old streetcars and the nodes and the villages, and this leads to a completely different form of development.
That was 1 and 2.
Yeah. Well, so the process, the timing of this, the rush, but I do also think that I do want to emphasize that there is not some infinite pot of money out there that we can go to the federal government or the provincial government and say, well, we want so many billion for transit, and we also want so many billion for affordable housing. We have to, and we've got the first phase of the transit underway that does solve a lot of the issues with the downtown, for example, a lot of the issues with, you know, getting people to VGH, City Hall, that main center of employment. So we've got that worked out. Now we can take the time, and in the meantime, try to get some funding for affordable housing and put our focus and efforts into that, because that's where we really have a crisis in this city. And I think that should come first.
Okay, thank you very much.